Welcome back to Water Hose Drinkers. This is episode 2. So thank you. If you are a first listener, congratulations. Thank you that you found us. Please like and subscribe to the podcast.
Go on your grandma's account and subscribe.
It's pretty simple. You can follow us on Twitter too at WHD Podcast. So, Alec, Song of the Week.
Song of the Week. Josh, been waiting to tell you about this one. It's called Red Nation by The Game and Lil Wayne. The reason why I picked it, first off, it's on it should be on any hype playlist. Any hype playlist, you'd go to the gym, playing high school football, whatever. This is your song. Second off, supposedly, I think his name is Robert O'Neill. He was one of the SEAL team members that went and killed Osama bin Laden. Said he listened to this song before he went and killed Osama bin Laden. Red Nation.
You know what? That's the most American thing I've ever heard.
That's very American.
You know, that makes me want to start chanting USA.
You
honestly.
just listen to the song and then put in your mind you're in a Black Hawk helicopter flying over borders in the Middle East and you're about to go kill the world's most wanted man.
So my song of the week, I do not have a song of the week, unfortunately. Special shout out to rest in peace, a real trooper, Jimmy Buffett. And I would like to have a moment of silence for him today. All right, I think that was much more than a moment, but to get into it, week 1 of college football, Alec, was awesome. It felt so great just to have football back, and truly, and it gets me even more excited, for Thursday night. We got the NFL. NFL's back. So, with that being said, obviously, probably the biggest game of the week was LSU and Florida State.
Josh, I was at the lake. I had done a fantasy football draft Friday night, had a little hair of the dog Saturday morning, and what else could I do but pop open a couple of Gold Tops before 11 o'clock, gum down a couple of barbecue sandwiches, sat in front of a television for easily 6 hours on Saturday. College football week 1 did not disappoint. Huge games, crazy results. Wow.
Yeah, I had to work Saturday morning, and as soon as I got off work, I hightailed it on down to Statesboro. Got to tailgate a little bit, man. Watched Colorado beat TCU, which we'll get into in a moment. And I was so happy to see our Eagles play, man. It was awesome.
I wish I could have been in Statesboro. I'm hoping that I'm going to get to go to some games down there this year. I missed the tailgating environment.
Oh, man. The new tailgating environment in the Tippins' new athletic facility. Man, it's awesome. It's awesome. So, LSU, FSU, what are your thoughts?
Wow. So, Florida State won 45-24. LSU drops from number 5 to number 14. This AP poll. LSU, they were missing their best D-tackle, Mason Smith. Remember, they had that weird thing where he was supposed to be suspended for any game last year. And it ended up getting injured after the Florida State game to open up the year last year, so he never served his suspension. So the NCAA came around this time and said, okay, you can't pick any game, you're going to miss the first game. So I think that definitely played a factor, but FSU, they look like contenders. LSU looks like pretenders.
Yeah, man, I mean, Jordan Travis
played out of his mind.
Wow. I thought Jaden Daniels played well, too. I don't think he played a bad game. I could be wrong. I did miss the end of it. But, going back to LSU, Harold Perkins, defensive end, he's still an absolute menace. Guy's a monster.
He is a menace. I would say my big kind of spotlight player for that game is transfer receiver Keon Coleman. Came from Michigan State. I think there were high expectations for this guy down in Tallahassee, but maybe not quite what he did. I don't remember his exact stat line, but it was something along the line of 8 to 10 catches, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, wow. Talk about touchdowns and catches and yards. I mean, Colorado. I mean, I said it last podcast. I didn't think they were going to win more than 3 games. I mean, we still got a long season ahead of us. I mean, they got Nebraska this coming week, but I know you're not crazy on Deion, so what are your thoughts on that game?
I'm not crazy on Deion. I feel like Deion makes such a big point to, find what Georgia fans, Alabama fans refer to as rat poison, and he just sees like haters everywhere. So I feel like that's not really the case. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, I kind of go back and forth between wow, Colorado looked really good, and wow, TCU looked terrible.
Bad. That defense is awful.
Their secondary is abysmal.
Awful. And, I mean, Travis Hunter. I mean, if he keeps this up, I mean, you could definitely maybe talk Heisman finalist. I'm not really going that far yet, but maybe even an All-American at 2 different positions. I mean, Shedeur Sanders, 510 yards in the air. I mean, good gosh, man. I mean, what a way to win on the road, too.
Both of those guys looked incredible. I have nothing negative to say about Shedeur whatsoever. Mm-mm. I mean, he was dicing up that TCU secondary, mobile, but a pass-first guy still. Travis Hunter looked really, really good. I honestly think he looks better as a receiver than he does as a corner.
I agree.
And when it comes to pro football, like he's going to have to pick one. Unfortunately,
yeah, and we all know it's going to be probably going to be a receiver.
I think probably receiver. He played 110 snaps Saturday. Josh, that worries me a little bit.
Especially, if you're a pro scout looking at that.
That's a lot of mileage.
He's still got another year of college before he can go to the NFL. So, but enough of Colorado. Clemson, what an absolute terrible, terrible loss last night.
I had faith in Dabo Swinney's hire of Garrett Riley as the new OC. I thought that he was going to do good things, but I think that we have a little bit of a Jimbo Fisher situation here. And give me some of that shit. I think we got a little bit of a Jimbo situation here in Clemson, South Carolina, where Dabo will not take his hands off the offense. I think that is the situation in Clemson, and I think it's been that exact same way for all of this time. Dabo will not just take his hands off the wheel and give his keys to the offensive coordinator, and it only shows when they don't have a generational quarterback. They got so used to having Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence that the offenses were just explosive and crazy good, and now they don't have that dude. I'm not knocking Klubnik. I think he's a Power 5 starter.
For sure.
But Dabo's got to just completely let go if he wants that Clemson offense to flourish.
That, and you don't take any transfers either.
Oh, yeah.
And I know Dylan Rosado is extremely upset about that loss.
I'm sorry, D-Roz. I am really sorry.
We have hope, Dylan. Week 4, Clemson, Florida State will be there. Clemson's going to get back. I think they're going to get back right. That defense, man, did not have a good second half. But then again, you were on the field most of that game because what did the offense do? You got turnovers in the red zone.
Block kicks, fumbles.
Like
yeah.
you can't be in college football playoff contention and have that happen. I don't care what game it is.
I also want to throw it out there. Around. I think Duke's a good football team.
Yeah,
I think Duke's quarterback Riley Leonard looked really good. I saw somebody call him White Vic on Twitter. I thought that was pretty funny.
He had a little Daniel Jones in him too.
He had a little DJ in him, little Danny Dimes. And I mean, Duke was I think they went 9-4 last season, 9-1 team. Clemson was only a 13-point favorite, but they should not have lost by that much. That was silly.
I think it ended up at like 14.5 or something like that. I could be wrong, but dogs. Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia won 48-7 versus UT Martin. You would not think that Georgia won if you went strictly based on the reactions from the fan base. Not at all.
Everybody's saying, "Oh, it's the same old Bobo." Blah, 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 blah. That's when you complain about that Georgia game. All I hear is "wah, wah, 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 wah."
It's week 1. Like, of course, the play call is going to be vanilla. Like, it's week 1. Why would he open up the playbook against UT Martin?
He didn't even do a vanilla flavored offense. That was just paper, the taste of paper.
I mean, I think he did what he needed to do. Like, at the end of the day, they're not worried about covering spreads and dropping 60 points on these guys. They're worried about winning the football game at the end of the day, no matter what it takes. And I think that they did a good job.
I think they did a great job. All right, if you want to talk about a play call, I'll give you one specific instance where I didn't think it was great. End of the first half, 2 minutes left. Georgia's driving down, trying to get into the end zone before the clock runs out to go to half, and they ran the ball a couple of times on the goal line where I thought they should have passed. That's nitpicking, man. That's nitpicking.
Yeah.
But 560 yards of offense, 41 points, not counting the 7 from the pick six, 5.3 yards per carry, no sacks allowed. Georgia played 68 different players on Saturday. That's over 75% of their team got snapped Saturday.
But that's, in my mind, that's great because you don't know if somebody's going to go down in the season or what's going to happen. Hopefully nobody gets hurt, but you want these backups to see playing time. I mean, they can't see their first snaps against Ole Miss when they come to town at Tennessee. I mean, I'm glad they got snaps.
I'm very glad they got snaps, but it really just goes to show you that I hate throwing this around because it sounds, very pretentious, but Georgia was running a glorified scrimmage.
Yeah, no. I mean, they were basically playing a high school team. They were playing Bishop Gorman. But
they were playing Bishop Gorman, or maybe freaking what's the one in Florida? IMG.
Yeah, IMG could probably beat them.
But, you got guys like Ladd McConkey that if we were playing Tennessee this week, Ladd would have played. If we were playing Tennessee this week, Dejon Edwards would have played. Like, a lot of guys that are just banged up right now that are sitting out when they probably don't need to, but they should. I'll give you kind of like I got 2 guys on defense and then 1 on offense. Defense, Malachi Starks only played like 30 or 40 snaps,
played well.
8 tackles, pass deflection, graded out, I think, at 84.9 this week according to PFF. You guys buying a PFF. My other defensive guy is Jonel Aguero, my freshman strong safety. This has been my dude all offseason. Played really well. Georgia's secondary looks incredible this year. And then my guy on offense, it's got to be Mekhi Muse, Mighty Mouse Muse.
Yeah.
Dude, if you guys haven't seen this guy play, he looks like a bowling ball. I mean, he is about as thick as he is tall, and I do not mean that in a bad way whatsoever.
What number is he again?
87.
Okay.
Mekhi Muse.
Yes.
Just kind of an under-the-radar guy in a really crowded pass catcher room, and played his little heart out on Saturday.
I mean, they got a lot of guys that can catch the ball. I mean, they really, really do.
So many options.
To kind of end that, I think Georgia fans are going to be upset either way. Like next week in Ball State, I feel like we're just going to be having the same conversation. Like, Mike Bobo this, Mike Bobo that. Like, come on, settle down. You're probably still going to go undefeated.
Probably still going to go undefeated. I've been telling everybody I'm not making snap judgments until South Carolina.
Fair. Because even though South Carolina lost against USC, but if dogs can get after that quarterback.
They sacked Spencer Rattler 9 times.
Yeah. So Georgia Southern, they beat Citadel 34-0. We pushed. Whatever. It is what it is. But I really, really was pleased with that performance by them. And, same thing what we're talking about, play call being vanilla. It was. But it worked. Georgia wanted to see some things that worked against UT Martin. Georgia Southern wanted to see some things that worked against the Citadel. Obviously, you're not going to open it up, but I thought the play call was good. Might have overserved myself by, the second half, but I can't really think of a time where it's just be like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Like, I just thought it was a really good game all around.
Citadel still runs that wing T, right?
No, they were triple option, not wing T, man. No college teams really running the wing T, but they're more of like a spread option
I could have sworn that they ran some under center wishbone wing tee against Mercer last year.
Triple option. Just wishbone triple option. But I guess I wouldn't really consider it a wing tee in a way. But
they're still like run heavy.
Yeah. But they're kind of more like out of the gun doing option stuff. Like I think they only threw the ball like 10 times.
I think that's the way to do it these days. If you're going to be a run heavy team, do it out of a lot of different sets.
Yeah, but the problem with that is you're so predictable. Dive, pitch. Dive, pitch. You throw a screen pass, like a little 10-yard out. Like, when Georgia Southern got, kind of went into that, like, yeah, it worked for a little bit, but like, man, you try to beat some of these bigger schools like that, like, no, it's just too predictable, man. Honestly, but I like the way that some teams do it because you can't really recruit guys. Like, it's really hard to recruit guys if you just go from a true triple option to a spread. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's just difficult. But anyway, I thought Davis Brin looked very, very, very good. Like I said, he didn't really have to do anything spectacular.
Stat line?
I pull it up. Let me
Roughly.
pull it up. Roughly, I'd probably say, I think he had over 200, 250 yards, touchdowns. But he threw a pick. It was a bad throw, but it happens.
It happens.
Like, I'd probably say that probably was his only bad pass of the game. But the receivers look great, dude. Caleb Hood, friend of the podcast. Shout out Caleb Hood, fellow water hose drinker. And Anthony Quealy looked great to transfer from Syracuse. He was awesome. And, of course, Derwin Burgess. I mean, he balls out as well. But one guy that really stood out to me on offense I was glad to see back is Jalen White.
Jalen White.
Which y'all will see today on the podcast, as long as with former Georgia Southern quarterback Kyle Van Treese as well. And Jalen White, man, I mean, I don't know how many carries he had. 125 yards, touchdown, man, like basically in one half of football. I mean, it was really good. I thought his cuts looked good. That knee is healthy, man. He's healthy. And
That's so great to hear. So
he's
hard to
ready
come back
to
from.
go, man. I mean, he is just... I think he's really determined to shut everybody up this year.
Do you feel as if Georgia Southern has a red zone receiver this year, guy 20-yard line, you want to throw your jump ball to, goal line fade, that type of stuff?
Keaton Upshaw, tight end, 6'6" tight end from University of Kentucky. But he can't play for the first 2 games. Some kind of... I don't even want to get into it because I don't even know. I'm just going to say the wrong thing. Some kind of NCAA rule or whatever. I mean,
NCAA, enemy of the podcast.
Yeah, we hate you.
Enemy of the podcast.
You and Grayson McCall.
You and Grayson McCall.
Oh, man. But, no, I mean, definitely he's a red zone threat. But, I mean, man, there's so many guys. Jalen can catch the ball out the backfield. I mean, it's a good problem to have. Georgia's the same way. Good problem to have. You got so many guys that can catch the ball. And in the red zone be effectively no matter how, where the ball is. But strictly jump ball, definitely Keaton Upshaw for sure. And we'll see him his first games at Wisconsin. So
Another interesting note, this weekend Georgia has Ball State. Georgia Southern plays Ball State in 2 weeks.
Yep.
This weekend Georgia Southern has UAB,
Yeah.
and in 2 weeks Georgia plays UAB.
I think it's 2 weeks, but I could be wrong. But one guy that really stood out, I thought the defense looked great. One guy that really stood out to me was Latrell Bullard. He's a true sophomore defensive tackle, number 57. Man, he had himself a hell of a football game. Getting after the quarterback, I mean, just bull rushing people. Really get after it. And I thought that the defense did a really good job, getting after the football. And I was really glad to see that.
What kind of defensive sets is Georgia Southern running these
They
days?
run a 4-2-5.
4-2-5?
Yeah. So, in the previous years, I think, no knock on any former player or coach, I just think we didn't have a lot of talent on that defense, and we saw that last year. We really saw that last year. And I think if you add a good defense to this and get some guys that really can get after the ball and stay healthy, man, I mean, they're going to be able to win some football games, man. I mean, I really do think they're a 9-win football team. I really 8-9 win football team. I really do.
I really hope they are, man. I mean, I think that Helton's got things in a really, really good direction right now. Going back to the 4-2-5, I think that kind of what you're talking about maybe is that it is so dependent on inside linebacker play, and if you do not have a dude back there who knows how to tackle and knows how to direct things, then it's really tough. But I love the 4-2-5. More of a 3-3-5, 3-4 guy myself.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about inside linebackers. I mean, Marquise Watson-Trent, front of the podcast too. He'll probably go on at the end of this episode. I don't know. Or did we release him last week?
I don't think we've done.
No. Yeah, Marquise Watson-Trent is coming out today along well with Jalen White and Kyle Van Treese. So, but Mar, he had a great game. Changed his number to 1. Boys look good. But you want to get into the gambling corner?
Everyone, step into our gambling corner. Name is still being workshopped.
The door's open. Come along. The door's closed. Hold up.
All right, you're locked out.
Let's get the pregame juice for the gambling corner.
It's that spread juice.
No, this is not alcohol. We do not consume alcohol.
People listening on Spotify can be so confused by that. Yeah. All right. I went 2-1 last week. Josh went 1-3. What happened?
Man, Western Kentucky looked good. They really did. Hilltoppers. I thought South Carolina was going to beat UNC, but I mean, when your offensive line just doesn't know their left from their right, I mean,
I got this right here.
Anybody.
Let's see. Oh, it says fuck South Carolina.
Yeah.
Because that was my one loss as well.
And I took the under in the Hawaii-Stanford game, but yeah.
Those are just two terrible defenses.
Yeah. So, what about you?
For last week, I had Utah 6.5, which crushed. I actually double dipped on Utah. Took them at 6.5 and 4.5 because I am a dastardly fellow. Took South Carolina money line. They got smashed by UNC, and took Clemson Duke under 55.5, which that hit pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, and enough of that. That was a bad week. This week,
that's the past.
That's a pass. We're moving forward. And again, if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we do not condone gambling. These are all hypotheticals here.
Our Gamblers Anonymous chapter of Central Georgia, we meet in the Walmart parking lot every Wednesday night. Yes. We sit here and talk, and it's really good. Y'all should come out and meet us.
It's really fun. Sometimes we'll bring Waffle House or McDonald's, things like that. It's really fun. My spread of the week, the Eagles, baby.
Hammer them.
Hammer the Georgia Southern Eagles is all I'm going to say. -6.5 over UAB. I'm sorry, Trent Dilfer. You're going to go home a loser.
See you later, Dilfer.
See ya. I mean, I don't see that game being close, to be honest with you. When I mean I don't see it being close, I'm not talking about a 30-point victory here. I see us probably winning by a good 24 points.
Just staying in control.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we almost had them last year, but I feel like it's going to be a good revenge game.
I hope they let Davis Brin uncork it a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. And, when you added, Jalen White back there as well and O.J. Arnold, I mean, gosh. I mean, you got some speed and ball catchers too. What's your spread of the week?
My spread of the week, so I am once again double dipping in the state of Texas. I got
two of them.
Aggies, Texas A&M Aggies -3 on the road at Miami. Connor Wegman looked phenomenal last week. I know they were playing a low-tier opponent, but they dropped like 52 on their head. I think that Jimbo might have done what I told Dabo to do, still won't listen to me, take his hands off the offense, give Bobby Petrino the keys. Don't give Bobby Petrino the keys. Just let him run the offense. Oh, God. I'm sorry. Anyways, I think A&M is going to be a much improved team this year. People are saying, they were so terrible last year. I'm like, no, this is still one of the most talented teams in the country. All they got to do is they're missing a couple of pieces.
For sure.
And then everything's going to fall into line for them. Still playing the toughest division in football. I think that 9-3 this year is a huge win. But anyways, this weekend, hammer the Aggies, -3.
You got one more?
I got one more. I got Texas +7. Me personally, I'm probably going to buy it at 7.5 on the Longhorns playing at Alabama. Alabama's got to show it to me. I know you picked them to win the SEC. I picked them to make it to the SEC championship, but they got to prove it to me. This is a really, really big game. I think that Quinn Ewers is going to come out freaking slinging.
Yep.
I really hope that everybody stays healthy this time. And I think Texas has really improved in the trenches, which I think was one of their deficiencies past couple of years. Alabama wants to run the ball. We know this. Milroe looked pretty good passing the ball last week, but, let's see how he does against a P5 opponent. I'm rolling with the Horns, 7.5.
Gotta love it. My money line of the week, I got two of them for you. I got two underdogs, actually. Two slight underdogs. They're not really, heavy underdogs, but Nebraska. Cornhuskers. They're at Colorado. Colorado's going to do this, do that, do that. Look, I still stand with it. I said Colorado's going to be a 3-win team this year. I'm standing by it. We can't count the rest of the season. Oh, all of a sudden they're ranked. All right. Let's see what they got. You're ranked now. Let's see what you got. And you're about to lose your home opener against Nebraska.
I'm on the Huskers too.
Yeah. That's your money line of the week?
That is my money line of the week. Cornhuskers, basically same reasoning as you, man.
Good defense.
I don't fear going into Colorado if I'm Nebraska. I really don't. Colorado, man, I feel like I'm not trying to knock them. I'm not trying to take away from what they did. They won outright as 20.5-point dogs last week. That was a big win. TCU looked terrible.
Yeah, they're bad.
TCU looked abysmal on defense. Shedeur Sanders just cut through them. I really like Nebraska. I like Matt Rule as a college coach. I think he's going to put together a solid squad. They held Minnesota at only 13 last week. Mm-hmm. And so I'll go from there into my next pick, Colorado, Nebraska, under 65.5. I feel like that's way too many points. Way too many.
I got one more money line for you. I got Green Bay Packers.
Packers versus the Bears?
Against the Bears.
Where are they playing at?
In Chicago. Packers still got a good defense, man. They still got a good O-line. I think they're going to run the ever-living crap out of the ball. And we'll see what Jordan Love can do.
Let's hope that Soldier Field is not flooded again this year, week 1.
But I have an over as well this week, UGA versus Ball State.
What's the total at?
46.5 right now.
Smash it.
Yeah. I think that, Georgia will open it up a little bit more against Ball State, but then again, like we said earlier, it's still going to be very vanilla. And I think we're probably going to see Ball State probably get a touchdown, maybe even a field goal.
I think it's going to go so eerily similar to how it went last week, which is probably going to send Georgia fans down in a spiral if we don't, score a million points and win the national championship every single week. But 42-13, 45-7, something like that. I think it's going to be basically copy and paste from last week.
It's time. You know what it's time for?
Dr. Pepe?
Pepe's weekly 4-pack, straight off the zero-turn Toro.
Off the zero-turn Toro. What's Pepe got for us?
So last week he went 1-4, but look, like we said a minute ago, it's the first week. Long road ahead of us. He called me. He said, I still cashed out over $1 million, so I didn't take those just 4 things. He still was profitable, so you can't hate the guy, But he's got Kansas -3 against Illinois, Texas Tech +6.5 against Oregon, Tulane plus 7.5 versus Ole Miss.
Can I just press pause on that real quick? I think that Ole Miss and Tulane will be the most aesthetically pleasing game that I might have ever seen.
Oh, the
uniform
The
matchups are
uniforms.
going to be so
Yes,
good.
yes.
So good. Continue.
So then last one he's got the Colts plus 5 versus your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Sorry, Pepe. I was riding with you. Nope. Yankees -5. Doesn't matter where it is. Anthony Richardson's first game. Jonathan Taylor's out.
We'll see. We'll see. Who you got winning the AFC North, Al?
AFC North. Bengals.
Ravens. AFC West.
Chiefs.
Chargers. NFC East.
NFC East. Eagles.
Cowboys. NFC North.
Lions.
Packers.
Ooh.
NFC South.
Saints.
Saints. NFC West.
Niners.
AFC South.
You already know. Y'all can see that flag up there. For those of you listening on PCast, I got a dope-ass Jacksonville retro flag hanging up. It's going to be the Yankees. I'm looking at 11-6 this year, Josh. The team is having fun. We're a dark horse.
Gotta love it. I think they're definitely going to win the division, make the playoffs, man. I mean, AFC's just brutal.
Here's the thing
It's just brutal.
Here's the thing about the Jaguars and the Jets.
Yeah.
Let's say that we're not going to meet in the playoffs whatsoever. We likely still have to go through 2 of the 3 of the Chiefs, Bengals, Bills.
Yeah.
Then, even if you don't have
Can't
to go
count
through
out the
all of
Chargers
those,
either.
can't count out the Chargers, can't count out the Ravens,
Can't count out the Jets.
can't count out the Jets,
Yeah.
dude, can't
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yeah. So last one we left was AFC East. I've got the Bills to win. I don't think the Jets are going to win it, but I do think they're going to come in second in the division. I just don't think that offensive line, they're missing some pieces there. I think that's the only thing that I can critique on them. Now, wide receiver room is still young, but I do think that the Jets are probably a 10 or 11 win ball team this year.
I also have the Bills, but I think it's really close. I think that Bills finish with 12 wins, Jets finish with 11 wins. I think the Bills take a little bit of a step back this year.
I do too, and we'll see. We'll see.
And that feeling is not predicated on any evidence. That is straight up a gut feeling that the Bills take a step back this year. So,
Who's your winner of the week?
winner of the week. I hope y'all all saw this video of a fight between a bunch of white women at a Morgan Wallen concert.
Yeah, so I'll give them a little backstory. On
Yeah,
that,
give a
if
little
that's all
backstory.
right. So this girl apparently cut in line at the porta potties, and some girls, her mom was like guarding the door for her or whatever, and some girls were just like talking shit to her mom and was like, like they cut in line, blah blah blah, whatever, and these girls started like beating the tar out of her mom, and she comes out the bathroom and starts yanking their hair out, shuts them in the porta potty door. It's awesome.
This girl comes out of the porta potty, flings the door open, wearing her white cowboy boots, if you could have guessed that,
Yeah.
and then
It's Morgan Wallen concert.
goes to work. Absolutely
This
goes
is
to
war.
work. I saw her just go in there and just get 2 handfuls of hair and just start yanking.
Yeah.
So my winner of the week is that girl defending her mom. Great job. We'd love to get you on the podcast.
Yes, please. My favorite part of it was at the end of it, she kicked him in the porta potty and just shut the door. But my winner of the week is UMass. I mean, who thought that UMass could be winning football games? I mean, 30 plus 38-point dogs, and they win outright.
Can you remember another time that's happened? 38 or 30 plus point dogs?
I mean, that's ridiculous, honestly. I don't think Georgia Southern was a 30-plus point favorite against Nebraska. They were probably in the 20s. But no, I don't remember.
That's insane. Congrats to UMass.
I mean, even Colorado was in the 20s. That's still nuts. Who's your loser of the week?
Loser of the week, Dabo Sweeney. How could it be anybody
I'm
else?
sorry, Dylan.
I'm sorry that God's name, image, and likeness deal is not working out for you. Guy refuses to take his hands off of the offense.
Refuses to take transfers.
Refuses to use the portal. It feels like he has done this to himself. I feel like the decline of Clemson football is directly correlated with Dabo Swinney and him refusing to change with the times. What makes a great head coach? It's staying with the times.
Saban.
What did Nick Saban do when RPO and pass-heavy offenses and spread and West Coast and all that jazz started to take over college football? He shifted his entire philosophy. He brings in really good coordinators. He shifts with what is winning at the time. That is why he stayed at the top for so long. That is why Dabo lost to Duke 28-7 on a Monday night.
Dylan's probably crying listening to this right now.
Dylan, I love you. We also want to get you on the podcast.
Please.
But
please, Dylan, we can talk Clemson. We can talk Cowboys for you. I know everybody would love to hear you talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm shooting straight with you, brother. It's Dabo.
My loser of the week is Butch Jones. I think his era at Arkansas State is probably winding down a little quicker than everybody expected. 73-0. I mean, I'm not even going to spend any time talking about that. That's just disappointing.
I saw a video of him or one of his players consoling him on the sideline. Like Butch Jones' head was down like this, and this player was tapping him on the shoulder. And, of course, I need some. I felt kind of bad for Butch Jones. I really did. And he's honestly had a couple of good years at Arkansas State. I think he's made a couple of bowl games.
Yeah, but they're still bad.
73-0 is insane.
So last thing we got for y'all is the Mount Rushmore of sauces.
Yes.
And you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You want to go pick by pick, or you want to just go rattle it off all at once?
Honorable mention and up.
All right. I'll start with my honorable mention.
Sorry. What we are going to start doing with these is we're going to give one word responses to each other on what we think of their list.
Honorable mention, ketchup. Wanted him to be great. Didn't make it. Into the Mount Rushmore, I got soy sauce at number 4. I got cane sauce at number 3. By the way, I had a tough time going between cane sauce, Zax sauce, cookout sauce, all pretty much the same. Cane's is the best though. Number 2, I got Chick-fil-A sauce. Number 1, Crystal hot sauce. Yes, it has to be Crystal specifically. Elite.
Minus your honorable mention. I don't like ketchup, but elite.
That's why he's an honorable mention.
Elite.
He had to get mentioned.
Elite. Okay, for me, honorable mention, honey mustard. Specifically, Publix honey mustard. Number 4, Hoots Original Barbecue Sauce. Shout out Hoots Barbecue Sauce, friend of the podcast, Mr. Colby. You're the absolute man. They're awesome. They sell it around town, in Statesboro, Pooler area, Macon. Shout out to them. Number 3, Freddy's Spicy Fry Sauce. Number 2, Chick-fil-A sauce. Number 1, ranch.
Diversity.
I like it. You want to end this out?
All right, fellas and ladies, I think that is all we have for episode 2 of Water Hose Drinkers. We greatly appreciate y'all's support. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a comment. Let us know what you want to hear about next week.
Yeah, give us some suggestions on Mount Rushmore too. So, and follow us on Twitter as well. It's WHD Podcast, and y'all stay tuned for Marquise Watson Trent, Kyle Van Treese, and Jalen White, and Spotify. I'm sorry, you're going to have to go over to YouTube to watch the interviews. Thanks, guys. Welcome back to Water Hose Drinkers. Today we are here with Georgia Southern linebacker Marquise Watson Trent. And the first question I got for you, if you had $10 million dropped in your bank account tomorrow, what are you buying first?
Definitely my mama house in Florida. That's something we talked about a lot. So I definitely had to take care of moms, and yeah, that would definitely be the first thing I buy.
Being from Pittsburgh, what brought you down south?
One is definitely the weather. There's something about that Georgia weather that's definitely comforting. But just the people, like the relationships I had, even on the visit, it was really well. The coaches at that time were really good people. Just everything involved, like it's special here. You can definitely feel it.
For sure. And last year you're wearing 33, and now you're wearing 1.
Yeah.
Why the number change?
There's something about that one. Is just you put a lot of pressure on you. I feel like I played better with the pressure on me. So I just if you want to be that guy, that's you got to wear that one. So I feel like I'm that guy, and I got the number.
For sure. And I got a couple stats right here too for you. Last year you had 5.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, 3 passes defended, forced fumble. I'm pretty sure you were the leading tackler on the team last year as well. What gets you pumped up the most, whether it be making a sack or big play, interception? What gets you fired up?
I said just the team in general. Playing for those guys, man, just working with them over the summer. That's a lot of work that we put in. To go perform on Saturday. So just seeing everybody out there, fighting hard, that makes me want to, make those big plays for us. And just Eagle Nation and the fans, it's a special place, like I mentioned. So, the whole environment and just being a part of this team, man, that's what really motivates me the most.
And what was it difficult for you, like coming out of high school to college, on like the defensive schemes that y'all ran in high school versus here?
Yeah, high school was totally different. You really got to watch film in college football, so that's probably the major thing. And you learn a lot of different things. In high school, I really didn't know a lot. I didn't really, I was kind of just playing off of raw talent. And now it's kind of like being, trying to be a student of the game and just different things. There's a lot of different things that go into it. So just taking time, watch film, get to know other guys and good minds of the game, and learn off them.
To stay on that topic, with new defensive coordinator now, versus when you started at Georgia Southern, is it with this new scheme hard for you to learn under Coach Bailey, or did it just come natural to you?
Yeah, we played a 4-2-5, so a lot of the things were similar. It's all just different terminology, so it was kind of easy to pick up. But man, I love the scheme. He has it's really hard on the quarterbacks. Just different things we do and the nuances in our defense and takeaways is a really big thing. So I'm excited about it.
For sure. And what is your favorite memory as a player here at Georgia Southern?
Definitely that double overtime against App State. Seeing Kyle make that pass, that's probably the biggest moment we had in Georgia Southern in my career. So getting that win was definitely the best thing that happened so far.
That was absolutely an amazing game. I mean, we were talking earlier, I get chills every time I think about that, honestly.
Yeah.
And last question I got for you, what are you excited for the most this upcoming season?
Just to show the world. Like I feel like last year being 6-7 left a very bad taste in our mouth as a defense, as a team. So just to really go show the nation what we can do and just be special. I can't wait.
Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Good luck this season. Welcome back to Water Hose Drinkers. Today we're here with Georgia Southern running back Jalen White. And first off, thank you for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Appreciate you having me.
And first question I got for you is, if you were stuck on a deserted island, what teammate or coach would you bring with you?
I had to say my boy TD, because TD funny and he also rage, so I know that he gonna get to him. He gonna tweak out. It's gonna be funny.
As a running back, is there a player, whether it be college or pros, that you model your game after?
Pros, it was a few backs I like to watch. So the 2012 Adrian Peterson, I think that's a highlight reel I like to watch a lot because he was coming off that injury and almost set the rushing record. And then present day I like to watch Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara. Those are a few I like to watch.
For sure. And in 2019, coming out of high school, you set Alabama state record in rushing. You led the nation in rushing. When you originally came to Georgia Southern, we were a predominant running team.
Right.
Is it a big difference for you with changing the offense now?
I mean, not really. I think not being a predominantly run first team probably helps our game because it opens up the box some. When I first got here, teams knew we was triple option, going dive, hit a screen. But now you got it's a 4-2 box. You got safeties, they have to respect the passes. It opens up the running lanes for a running back. So I think that's a plus for us running backs.
For sure. And, coming off the knee injury last
Mm-hmm.
year, obviously, it's a hard grind physically,
Mm-hmm.
for you to get back right. Talk about, the mental aspect of it and the mental side of, coming off the injury.
Yeah. So mentally, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it wasn't the easiest thing I ever did. It's probably one of the hardest things. 'Cause, like me, I'm not an open person, so like I really didn't just go out like looking for people to talk to about my injury. And like I really one of the things I like just deal on my own. And it was like I had to make sure I didn't lose my confidence and stuff. And like there would be times where like I wanted to myself like, will it be the same when I come back? But with that time, I got close to God and I started praying more, wanted to get more consistent with that stuff. And when going through the rehab and everything, I just say if I stay consistent and if I keep working hard, I'm gonna not just come back, I'm gonna come back better. And that's really how I feel right now.
That's the next thing I got for you. How is the knee?
No, it feels good.
You
Yeah,
ready to go week 1?
I'm ready to go. And like the coach, they know I'm ready to go, but I think they just be trying to be cautious. Like today, like sometimes in practice they'll like limit me and stuff. I think they're just looking out what's best for me because they know I know one speed, not to be trying to go. I think they don't want to burn
For
me out
sure.
or something.
For sure. And, you're obviously going to be a key role in this offense too. And, you got an NFL future ahead of you. I really do believe that. I think you're an absolute monster on the football field. And
Appreciate
I love watching you play. And, the next thing I got for you is, this off season, or I guess last year too, with changing the offense, do you have more of a focus on working with your quarterbacks in the passing game? Or, that just something, does it just come natural to you?
So like we'll find time like even if like me and the quarterbacks don't like arrange it, Coach L's gonna make sure that happens. Like he gonna make sure everybody has a chemistry between the receivers, the quarterback, the tight ends, or the running back. But you gotta make sure everybody's on the same page. And so really in the off season, what I really try to balance myself on is I'll get a few of the running backs and we'll go through like certain drills through the bags, through the cones, simulating game like situations, and then like when it's time to bring the team together and work with the quarterback, we'll get locked in on that. Cause like for the most part, we really got it. Like when it comes to the passing game, we got it smooth. We'll have like swing routes, little assist options, or like a sail route. So it's like it's not as like crucial for like the wide receivers. Like they got to be timing down the field, posts, comebacks, curls. It's a lot for the receivers. So like with us running backs, we really just try to do a running back group specific stuff, and then when it's time to work with the quarterback, we just hone in and lock in for that time.
All right, Jalen, I appreciate
Yes,
you
sir.
coming on.
Appreciate
Thank you.
you.
Hopefully we can do this again.
Yes, sir, no doubt.
Welcome back to Water Hose Drinkers. Today we are here with former Georgia Southern quarterback Kyle Vantrease.
Thanks for having me.
And first question I got for you is, what was the first bar you visited in Statesboro, and what was your initial reaction of it?
Gosh. It was probably Blue Room, to be honest. But first, it's nothing like I've ever been to. Nothing I'm used to up in Buffalo. Everything was like, you couldn't get in with slides. You couldn't get in with holes in your pants. It was nice shoes, nice shirt,
Yeah.
nice pants. And then I get in there and I see people walking around with slides and shorts and T-shirts. It's
I wish you were here when Shenanigans was still open.
I've heard stories.
There's a lot of people out there that, know Shenanigans, and that place was just not a clean environment,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've heard some stories, but it's probably a good thing I wasn't here.
Yeah, no, for sure. What's the biggest difference for you coming from Buffalo to Statesboro? Obviously you're two different sides of the country pretty much. What's the biggest difference for you?
Yeah, pretty much everything. First off, obviously the weather. For just a small imagery, my freshman year, I got there January of 17, my freshman semester. My first time up there, we got 4.5 feet of snow in 2 days, and they didn't cancel anything.
It
So-
hadn't snowed here and I
Yeah.
can't even tell you how long.
Yeah, and then when I came on my visit, we got off the plane and it was January and it was like 55 degrees, and I looked at my mom and she was like, "Oh yeah, this is the one." But other than that, the culture, the support for the university, for the football program, Southern football is no joke, and man, there are no regrets of coming here at all. And the people are just genuine. They care about you. They ask about you, and they truly support you. So that was probably one of the biggest, one of my favorite differences.
For sure. What was your most memorable game as a player at Georgia Southern?
Man, there's a lot of them.
And you
Look,
got the
obviously the
game-winning
three.
touchdown at Nebraska.
Yeah, there's obviously three. The Nebraska game, James Madison, and App State game. James Madison was really cool. beating a top 25 team at home, storming the field. Never been a part of that before, so that was really cool. I've never really been a part of a rivalry game either, so that was probably one of my favorites. And
Double overtime
double
as
overtime,
well. Yeah.
beating the rival, storming the field. That was an electric moment. But everybody asked me this question, but it has to be beating Nebraska, because I was there last year or 2 years ago, and I didn't get the job done. So being able to do that again and finish the job, that's probably the coolest moment for me. But the reason the best description for that answer is because you can win at home and it's great. You can storm the field, it's great. But when when they miss that field goal and there's 86,000 people in that stadium and they are dead silent,
Oh, that was crazy.
there is no better feeling.
I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it, honestly.
There is no better feeling than looking up and just seeing everybody with a straight face.
I know,
And like,
I know.
yeah, we did that.
That game was truly unbelievable. I mean, that's one of my favorite games I've
Yeah.
ever witnessed as a fan.
Yeah, it was. There was a couple of them here, and man, I miss it for sure.
I know. And coming from high school to Buffalo and then transferring to Georgia Southern,
Mhm.
what was the difference for you, being recruited out of high school versus transfer portal?
Yeah, being recruited out of high school, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into. For lack of better words, you're a little immature. None the wise. You don't know anything really, and you kind of lean on your parents a lot. You lean on your support system a lot for that decision. You want to get a really good education first, and then you also want to go to a place where you'll fit in, where you like the coaches, where you like the culture, and you're gonna fit in really well. Being recruited out of the transfer portal, you got more experience. Your priorities are a little bit different. You kind of know what the recruiting pitch is gonna be, so you know what they're trying to say to get you to come there, so you can see right through that stuff and you can look at the important stuff of what you're actually looking for. And for me, coming from Buffalo to Georgia Southern, there was 3 things that I was really looking for. It was a place that was going to help me rekindle my love for the game, a place where I was going to have the chance to win a lot of football games, and then the third piece of it was a place that I can just go and be myself and have a lot of fun. And all 3 of those was this place.
Sure.
And that's why I'm still here, because this place took me in, and this place has become my home, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Talk about, you got a chance, to pursue the NFL with rookie mini camps. You did Bucks rookie mini camp and the Indianapolis Colts. How was that like?
Yeah, really awesome experiences. You dream as a little kid to be able to put on an NFL helmet, an NFL jersey, and to be able to go to Indianapolis and then go to Tampa Bay and be able to do that and run their offense, wear their helmet, be in that atmosphere. It's hard to describe. It was really awesome. Got to meet a lot of really cool people. It was really cool to get my face out there, to get my product out there. And I'm still trying, still hoping for an opportunity, whether that's NFL, XFL. I don't really care where it is. I just want to keep playing football as long as I can. But like I said, I was looking for a place that rekindled my love for football. This place did that, and now I want to take that as far as I can go.
And I guess I was going to ask you the next question, are you obviously still pursuing football and, you still want to play, like you said, is XFL an option for you?
Yeah.
Or are you just NFL?
Oh, no,
Just
put a ball in my hands. Put a ball in my hands. I still got a lot left in the tank, and it's going to take a lot of people telling me no for me to actually hang it up, because you only get to do this once, and once you do hang it up, it's over, and I'm not ready for that. I still come to every single practice, or as many as I can, and standing behind the quarterbacks with Coach Houghton and just watching the practice, I still got the itch. So I'm going to give it my all as much as I can, and in the meantime, I'm going to be down here helping with Lenny and the collective and trying to raise as much money as we can to support the athletes here at Georgia Southern. And in the meantime, I'm also going to be doing sideline radio with Terry and Danny. So that'll be a lot of fun, a lot of cool experiences, but I get to be in Statesboro. I get to come to all the games and be a part of the community. So I couldn't really ask for a better opportunity, really.
Thank you so much. I
Absolutely.
Really
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.